Welcome to Integrative Lawyers of the World, where we believe lawyers can and are contributing to the healing of the world. We believe this because we know lawyers who are doing just this. Hi, I'm Carrie Raleigh, your host, and our guest this episode is Rajesh Deoli from India. Rajesh is a law and happiness advocate. He has also worked with human rights, access to legal justice, and legal empowerment. We are so happy to have Rajesh join us today, and we are glad that you are joining us as well. And I just want to let our listeners know they can go to support the Integrative Law movement by going to our website at www.integrativelaw.com. Rajesh, it is so nice to meet you in person.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Carrie.
Is it okay with you if we start with your law and happiness advocate? How did you become a law and happiness advocate?
Because I'm born in Uttarakhand, where in a small village, Deval, that is called as Deval, a small village. We worked hard. We saw our father, mother, and family members struggling hard for water and everything, like basic amenities. And then we came to a small town for our education. Our parents tried our best that our children, they are brought up properly and like other children who are living in big cities and all. But somewhere, like when you go through different transitions of life, from one level to another level, then another level, then we realize that somewhere we are marginalized. Why? Because we don't have resources, or we are not kind of defined in that way. Like they talk about those policymakers, they talk about they talk about justice, but what kind of justice? And another part is like they don't contextualize it. For example, if we talk about Himalayan states, Himalayan region, we need some different kind of setup for that place, not like in maybe Delhi or metropolitan cities. So these are the things which were somewhere, I would say, like boiling in my mind. And then I opted for going for one NGO, and they were focusing on access to justice and legal empowerment. And I was doing some internship there. And that time I thought like it will be best to join this institution, because somewhere those thoughts which were coming behind my mind every time I sleep, or because I was living without my parents, and I was living alone in Delhi in a small room and trying to figure out like I have to do something, and somewhere I have to connect it with my profession also, because I was really interested in social issues and how to solve it, and especially when we talk about our mountain states. So these things were there which given me some kind of insights to go forward and pick up one by one what I can do. So first thing was like the NGO where I worked for 3.5 years, and I learned the basics, like what is law and how it works, what are the issues and challenges faced by a common person, especially like I interviewed victims of sexual harassment in metropolitan cities and small cities. There was one UN Women project on safe cities for women, and also I used to go into the slums, and I got that opportunity to see like how different type of communities and different, especially when we talk about women or children, how they are marginalized from the legal system, and they are rejected in the legal system because they are not being considered to a level in our social system. So somewhere like they are double discriminated in both the systems. So, and it's a long time, like our constitution came in 1950, and there are so many laws on women rights and child rights, but what we see is like they're still not part of it. So there is no participation, and they are not any. If we talk to any of the victims, or we talk to any child who has been abused, or you will find that they don't know anything about the legal system, and they don't know what to do next. And there are institutional support system, but they don't know what to do. I remember one of my executive director from multiple action research group, Mark. We were going for some conference or something. I remember that time. So those days, like when I was working there as a project coordinator, like that time, one woman who was living just beside one path in Delhi, and there is a Nizamuddin mosque. So you will find a big hub of homeless people there, and it's so difficult that if you talk to them, the woman was telling me like how police comes and they were boiling milk for their children, and they just kick on those utensils and they throw it, and then they also exploit them. And she was that time pregnant, so they just behave in such a way, like because they have the system, they know these are weak people, they don't know about they don't have any understanding about the legal system, and they cannot approach anybody, so that's why they take advantage. So there were so many issues like which really tried to I would say burden my mind. Like I got connected with various NGOs, communities, and then I started working on various sectors like Right to Education Act in one of the state, Odisha, where we were working on urban area as well as rural area. So there were different dimensions to their lives, and as well as like marginalization. So we worked on it somehow. Like there were illiterate parents, we used to empower them, we tried our best, like how can we help them to come for the parents teacher meeting, or how can we engage them with the institutions, like for example state child protection system. So these were the things like somewhere prompted me to come for this particular issue. And overall what I found was like everything is there, right based system is there, legal system is there, but it is just like a picture. I always used to tell in my legal literacy training programs, like there is a cycle which is just like a democracy, it's standing there on a stand, and people are sitting down and just looking at it like oh wow, but nobody want to use it, or nobody really want to try for it. So that's how there's a difference comes. People are there, and it's made for them, the system is made for them, that cycle is for them, but they are unable to use it. And state, though it is spent on these legal literacy trainings etc, but there is no effective way to see that it has been done in a proper way or not. It's just a they're just writing on paper, we have done this training program, that's it, and photo, good photo, that's it. But what is the impact of that legal literacy training, or what is the impact of those programs which has been they have put a lot of investment on that. So this is the thing, like I would say, like this is how it started. Yeah.
You had said something that really struck out at me. You said that you grew up in a very small rural area, and then you went into a village or a more developed village to go to school. And
Yeah, tell me.
and then at that point, or at some point in your schooling, and I'm not sure if it was at that village or if it was later on in your advanced schooling or when you were in law school, but you said at some point you began to realize that we are all marginalized in some way, or that I'm marginalized in some way. At what point did you realize that you perhaps were being marginalized? And how did you realize that?
I remember in year 2000 when there was a big boom for IT as well as English language. So people were realizing that English and computer knowledge is very important. Otherwise, we will be left behind. So that time somehow my father like tried his best, and I was also emphasizing him like please, I want to go for a hostel life and all, and I really want to learn in English also, like I want to go forward. I was introduced to a public school, and that was a private school. My father fought for it, and somehow I entered the school. That time every day I used to I used to feel that they are always calling me, "Hey, pahadi," something like that. They used to tease me. Pahadi is something like, from forest, who doesn't know anything, something like that. They used to tease me about like various standards they have in their cities, big cities. They don't, so they used to say, oh, you don't have this, you don't have that, something like that. First thing I would say, like, I was very shy from the beginning. So I started speaking when I just completed my law degree. Let me tell you clearly. See, so that is after doing my law, like I really felt like I should go forward and do something like now I need to speak up, and otherwise I will be left or something. I felt ki, if you don't speak, then who will speak? And the problem is that one thing I felt that policymakers are there, people are there, and middle person who need to communicate it to their voice to the policymakers is missing.
Yeah.
So once I knew that, okay, I know the languages now. I have that, I had my best opportunity to study in good schools and all. And later on, I realized that this will be the best thing because I used to love to talk to people. Like I always loved that. And especially like you go to the villages or, small places. I really love that. What is the best part is like, it's so pure. Like when they talk to you, it's very pure and they are so humble. And in mountains, whenever if you come, I would invite you. Whenever you get time, you come to our place, like in the Himalayas, and you will see that there's a big difference between people living here and those who are in the city life, or and I'm sure you would have same experience in your place also, because in mountain we are simple, hardworking people, and we don't really want to go into other shoes. Hey, what are you doing and this and that. We are happily doing everything, and in a community wise manner. I always love that concept of Ubuntu, right? So this particular philosophy is followed in mountain states, and though now it's changing now because people from outside are coming, and there are many dynamics which are getting affected, and old traditional traditions are getting faded away due to the modernization, etc. So that's also a problematic thing here. But what I found is, like, from that time, like, I feel that one seed was sown somewhere in my heart that I have to do something, and especially for our people. By chance, you don't know, like, I will just share with you, like, what really happened was, because I was working here, and then later, I always, after class 8th, after 8th standard, I was outside my home, always in hostels, and not with family, though I'm very much, nostalgic, and, feel nostalgic about people, personal, my own sisters and father, mother, everyone. And lekin still, what I used to do is, somewhere I, try to keep myself intact, that I have to do something. And maybe later on I will see, like, I will meet my people, everybody, or maybe in between I can go. But by chance, this time something happened. Like, my parents, they both are not fine. My wife is working in Delhi. She's also working on women rights issues, and she's with Ministry of Women and Child Development. So we both were friends. So we got married, and we have two daughters. So uh, after that, like, I traveled different places. I went to Delhi. I was working with the Ministry of Law and Justice, and as a project manager to access to justice in northeastern states of India, as well as Jammu Kashmir.
Okay.
So after that, then I moved to Jabalpur. I was with High Court Juvenile Justice Committee, that is working on the monitoring of child protection system, as well as on child rights. So after that, after Corona, my parents' health was not fine. So somehow I decided to quit my job. I resigned from there, and then I came back to my hometown. Now I'm back to my hometown. Okay, so it's a different kind of, I don't know, means like how it come. I always used to complain, like, I never get time to connect with my mother, father, and my sisters. Now I'm back to same place, and like, I don't know, it happens like that. And now what I'm planning now is, like, how to go about, like, especially the basic issues which are faced by the people. So that's why I opened a small office, which is called Law and Happiness Office, and its name is Raji Kushi. Raji Kushi. So Raji Kushi is a term. It's also in Urdu as well as it's in Gadwali language. We have a local dialect here, Gadwali. So we always ask people, "Hey, Raji Kushi," which means like everything is fine, something like that.
Okay.
So that's why I came with this concept, and slowly I'm trying to evolve this office as a kind of system which will connect with the remote villagers, and which will also help in psychosocial support, providing them psychosocial support. So somewhere I'm where I started, and I'm coming back to the same place.
Yeah.
And working for my people, and it's a good thing. Like I would love to share with you, like first case that came to me when I resigned from my office. It was a tough job for me, but still, like when I reached here, so I provided a kind of counseling to couples who wanted to divorce, and they were fighting with each other. But somehow, like I took 3 days to make them understand like what were the issues of both, and those gaps can be kind of dealt with. And somehow now they are happy, they are doing good job, and they call in between too. So it started with that first story, and that day I started thinking like, let's document each of these stories. I really want to kind of document it for my purpose, because I want to change the way people litigate. Okay, litigation is a very complex kind of thing here in, if I talk about like small areas, or maybe in Delhi, whoever is practicing, everybody talk about now mediation, arbitration, conciliation. So why they are saying this? Because see, legal system is very lethargic, and its response is not human. That's what I understood like till now, because as I told you, like I worked with different government authorities who were working on access to justice, legal empowerment. And the crux of the story was people are fed up with long time, they are not getting dates, or they are facing issues, because the relevance of the conclusion of the dispute becomes irrelevant if it's not ending, if it's not getting solved or resolved on time. So that's another problem. And another point is like, especially I have seen that where there are issues relating to maybe two brothers fighting, or there's a issue of child custody. Father wants babies with them, or mother wants from with them. I seen that uh, in these cases, sometimes like lawyers, for their own kind of gain, they try to make create those conflict. And although you won't believe, like I have seen, I have resolved one issue, one case where they have gone to various lawyers, and I felt that those lawyers have created such a ruckus, somewhere a problem for them in their journey of life, or so after doing counseling, I felt that they are better, and they don't have any dispute, they no issue with their relations and all. So yeah, so in, especially when you talk about like these sensitive issues, lawyers don't resolve it in a better way. Okay, they have very kind of blunt approach to resolving issues. They will just look at okay, this is section, this is this, and you'll be getting this. Okay, can we file this? Okay, thank you, that's it. So
we're going through,
and
here are the issues, here's the law. Okay, now here's the evidence that
that's
supports you, here's their evidence, whose evidence is stronger than the other, and let's see what we can do. Yeah. It's
and
very,
then you feel I actually I recently joined litigation. Before I worked with development, I was in development profession somewhere, because I worked with NGO as well as worked with advocacy groups, and also worked with policy officials and all. And what I understood was, like, after coming to this particular litigation sector, there are no issues, but there are many issues. it's more and more like created by people. And if you talk about like some general issues, they are nobody is listening to anybody. So if there is a victim who's crying in front of you, you are not ready to take it up. You just say, okay, ठीक है, जाओ जाओ, you go. Okay, it's fine. ठीक है, we will take care of. But in one case, I will just share with you one case where one brother and I think three. They are three sisters, and they had some issues after their father has passed because these girls were not allowed to enter her father's premises by the brother because brother thought that, oh, now it's my property, you can't come, go, and we won't be calling you again and again. Then these people went to some lawyers. They have asked for money, like first keep this much 1,000 rupees with us, we will solve it. And they took 3-4 months, they have done nothing. Okay. And later on, they somehow, I don't know, somebody talked to me like there is a one person, they told me that somebody want to talk about this. Do you know about equal rights of brother and sister? Something like that said. I said, yeah, I know. Like, is there anybody? So she told me like, I know one party. They want to talk about it, but they are, they want to talk personally. They won't come here in the court premises. I said, okay. So once I talked to them, they came to my office also. She cried like a child.
We are taking a brief break from this conversation to ask for your financial support. With each episode, we hope you can see how lawyers and peacemakers like you are contributing to the healing of the world. It takes many kinds of resources for the integrative law movement to keep going and affecting change. Your monetary donation can help us continue this important work by supporting the activities and the members of this community. Each contribution goes to promote the stability and accessibility of the movement and to support basic expenses like our Mighty Network group, web hosting, social media and event management, and this Integrative Lawyers of the World podcast. Because we like to give people choices, we have ongoing monthly options to match your budget, or you can make a one-time donation. Thanks to our non-profit corporate sponsor, the Renaissance Law Society, US supporters are able to make tax-deductible donations. Supporters from other countries, please check your local tax laws. To help establish confidence in your choice to support us, we have set up an open, collective, transparent plan to track how the community money is spent. For ways to support the integrative law movement and our world-changing work, go to our website at www.integrativelaw.com and click on Support the Movement tab at the top of the page. Another great way to support us is to rate us 5 stars and comment, like, follow or subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform. These ratings and interactions help us get seen and heard by even more people to make an even stronger impact. Thank you for your support and spending time with us today. Enjoy the rest of this conversation.
Who came to your office, the sisters or the sisters and the brother?
Those sisters, not brother, only sisters.
Came to your office without the brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they cried like, a small child, and I understood that, it's very bad when you don't respect your sister, and especially after passing away father. And then in our place, I would like to, tell you some story about like, we have very delicate and very emotional stories of a goddess who is called as Nanda, who is worshipped in our place. And we hold, world's biggest and longest kind of religious journey is there. Nanda Devi Rajat, we called it. So what is the temperament behind it is like, as you must be knowing like a Lord Shiva, right?
Yes.
Lord Shiva, you would be knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So Lord Shiva's, you can say, wife is Parvati, right? So Nanda is a, you can say that her young version, I would say, who was living, who was dwelling in these Himalayan region. This is her home, and all the villagers, what they do is like, uh, in after 12 years, that Nanda will come to her home, like her father's home, and then we
Okay.
treat, yeah, and we treat them like she is our daughter, and we, take her till Kailasha, till Kailash, that mountain, that from
Mhm.
where, you can say the territory of Lord Shiva starts. So we send her there just like our daughter, and it's a very emotional thing. So my point here is like, why I'm talking about this, because our customs have been so sensitive in terms of like a daughter's right in her father's home, right? She has full right to come to her father's home, parents home. Is still like, such kind of treatment by her brother really broke her, and both were crying. I'm telling you, they were very elder
Mm.
to me too, and I felt that they are crying like a small child. And then after that, she was happy and she was telling me, really, I never felt it. I don't know, you are a lawyer. I'm not feeling like you are a lawyer.
Mhm.
And you didn't treat me like, your client. I said, I'm not treating you like a client. You are also like my sister also. I have four sisters. So I can understand what you are trying to say. And I think it didn't came out since that time when you had fight with your brother. So her husband was also there. So she was, her husband was also like silent, because I think he also didn't, try to understand her or listen to her.
Yeah.
So this is how things happens. And you won't believe, they, what I feel is like, they are so faithful to me in the same way like I am faithful to their emotions. So nobody is investing or their time on, listening to other person. That is the main issue.
The importance of feeling heard, and
Yeah.
to give someone space to not only be heard, but to feel their feelings. And
True.
even if that didn't resolve the conflict right then and there, it opened up a space for healing for your client. And that is
Yeah.
such a beautiful gift that you gave to your client that day. Um,
I really felt, I told to my mother also, like, because I share with her, because she know, like, because here, if somebody starts practicing as a lawyer, so first they say, hey, fraud person, or so
yeah.
these kind of, seriously, like, these are the words. And I remember like, one of Granny, we used to call her Granny. And she used to come from far village, and she used to bring to us like, vegetables for us with lot of love. She was not my granny, but we accepted her. In mountain, you will see that even there is a driver, so we will call him mama, or just like uncle, paternal
Mhm.
uncle or maternal uncle. So we have that habit. So she used to come to our, now she's 102 years old, and she was here. So you won't believe. I remember her word when I started doing law. She told me that never become lawyer. Never. She told me this. I remember still.
Really?
So that was, and I asked her like, what is the problems? And then she started talking about, the way now you or me or, integrative word understand this. Like, those brackets have been created, which are, full of hatred. Somewhere people don't kind of connect with them. If there is a lawyer means like he should be, serious kind of
Yeah.
person, and speaking point to point, and he should have gray hairs or something like that.
Mhm.
Those all flimsy kind of a thing. So, but the point is like, nobody is trying to connect with them because they don't like that system. But still, forcibly, I would say, like, we are running that system, and you can understand that how many people would have been victimized from this profession. I'm telling you, because wherever I went, everybody talked negative about a lawyer.
Yeah. When I was practicing full time, I remember you'd get all the the bad jokes about lawyers being bad and everyone talking
Yeah,
negatively about them. And it was
yeah,
it was demoralizing. And then there's part of it, yeah, you talk negatively about us, but then when something's gone wrong, you expect us lawyers, to be there on the front lines of your conflict and to protect you from it. And we do, because that's what it's our job. But I feel like I remember getting very frustrated with that. Yeah, you'll put us down
Yeah.
until you need us.
Similarly, there was another I would like to share with you. I think it's very relevant in terms of how people, like, if there are people, they are very busy, okay, they will show they are very busy, right? And they don't want to especially talk to, villagers, or they don't want to talk to a deaf person. They don't want to a person with whom they will have to, do some exercise, like we will have to engage with him. So there was one old person, 80 years old. He's a retired army man who lost his hearing due to that, those cannons and all. And that time, he was standing outside and having that machine with him, ear machine, but it was not working, I think. So he traveled a lot. He belonged to a very remote village. I remember that was my first case in terms of, like, physically. I was seeing him, and somebody told me, like, "Hey, this guy is there. So, are you going for it?" So I saw him, and then I felt like, "Arey, oh, I should I should call him." So I told him, tried to talk to him. He came with me nicely, and he sat down there. People were laughing at me because obviously, like, they don't want to engage with such person. On They would be thinking, oh, like, kind of demotivating way, I would say, very demotivating thing. Okay, so I started talking to him, and I had experience of having a deaf person and a friend, I would say, like, when I was in Jabalpur. So there was one deaf youngster who came to my office. Somebody brought him in my office, told that because you have worked in NGO, so you must be knowing, like, what he's trying to say. Please talk to him. We can't understand, because he applied for some right to information application. So they were not understanding, those people who were in the office of High Court. I talked to him, and we were, trying our best. We were writing, okay, so what's your name? Then talking to each other. See, it's more, what I learned is, like, it's more about, like, our approach. It's more about love. Like, I worked with various scheduled tribe also, who had different languages, and but our heart connected. Then we were able to understand each other. That is what I learned with time. Like, so when I talked with him, so he told me the whole issue, like, what problem he was facing. Actually, that guy who came to me in the High Court, he came with a grievance that he went for one interview, and the interview board has discriminated him. They told him to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, and not once, twice, thrice. So now we have filed one case in the High Court itself, and it's under process now. So we have talked about, like, discrimination on the basis of, like, his disability, as well as his right to compensation, because that was the, very weird way of institution can't treat like this. And third person, we demanded for uh, interpreter. So we needed interpreters for all the exam boards and everything. Because till now we didn't find any interpreter, except in one or two places. We didn't find those people with proper
Yeah.
language. Yeah, special language. They didn't know about it. So that becomes kind of there again you feel there is a break, and again you feel that, oh, now what to do? Because again, our community is kind of disconnected from the system. You won't believe, we are still fighting for him. And I still feel, I have that negativity, because he write to me, he tried to talk to me through an app, and we, have a good discussion. And always he has so many, he's very young and very active, that guy. And he keep on discussing with me, like, all those topics which he don't get a chance to talk with others. So I talk with him as a elder brother. And but I feel, kind of, still I feel gap in terms of, like, I'm not there always with him. So even for small things, for example, I remember they were traveling, these deaf friends were traveling through railway, and somebody from the railway police came there, and they have seized their documents, which is very important, that disability certificate document.
Okay.
Until now, they didn't get it. I tried my best through Twitter. I tried to tell people that please leave it, and this is wrong. You can't seize a disabled person's, most important identity. But till now, no authorities have replied. They have not done anything.
You say he had disability. He was deaf, and did he have problems speaking as well?
Yeah, he had both. Yeah, he can't hear, like, as well as he had that speech impairment somewhere, right?
Okay.
So we are still fighting for his, like, various issues he faced. But the problem is that when I talked to one of the counsel who is in the High Court, she was telling me, like, see, in the if you see the judges, they are not one of the judges, okay, they are supporting us, but on the other hand, other person is saying, so what if it happens, so what? So it's difficult at each stage. If system is not sensitive, so I don't know, means like law won't work,
Yeah.
and people needs to be sensitive, then only we can process those grievances to them. And if they can't understand this, that this is a big insult in front of a person who can't hear and speak, and they don't feel it as a big thing, then it's a problem. It's somewhere, it's a problem here.
That is
So
a
then we
problem.
feel, okay, now we will move to another court. But again, then another question mark comes: will they reply? Will they respond in a sensitive way? That's another issue.
Mm.
And like, because because he doesn't have that much fund with him, he belonged to very kind of poor family. So I put some money, and one of my friends, she put some money in that. But to what level and to what extent we can,
Yeah.
that's becoming an issue. So there are issues, like, I won't talk about money more, like, because first thing is, like, why system is behaving like this with a person who is a disabled person.
We
And
always think of the system and the law should protect those who cannot protect themselves, to help
yeah,
those who can't help themselves. That's like the very core foundation of our social contract with each other, right? So when that breaks down and it's not doing that, then it's
yeah,
not functioning at the very core of what I believe it's supposed to do.
yeah.
Um,
So I don't know, means like, somewhere these are the breaks in the system which really create a problem from those people who are working for marginalized person, and who themselves are marginalized, and they are trying to get the justice. But again, where is the justice if people who are dealing with it are not understanding what is justice?
yeah.
Right? So contextualization is very important, but before that, understanding them, like, who are they, from where they come, that is important. So this misses, because another point I see, like, because if lawyers are sensitive, then means, I would say, if bar is sensitive, bench will be sensitive too, because we will make them understand, like, this is the thing. No, no, this won't happen. Somebody is saying that, okay, this girl, she is having, this woman, for example, there is a divorce case, and the lawyer from of that woman is talking about, no, ma'am, she needs kind of alimony for her life and all. And then another person is saying, no, 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 she is also having big car, and she is this, that. But then making them understand where she is living. If she is living in Delhi and she has a car, it's not a big deal. But if that judge is from a small town, or they are working there, they won't understand perspective. So somewhere I see that we lawyers have big responsibility in terms of making bench understand that what is the perspective, from where it is coming, and why we need to work on it.
Mhm.
So
When you went from your small town into the bigger city or village to go to school, part of the hardship was the city versus rural dynamic, and that you considered yourself to be a little shy too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you go out, and where you are now, you say you go out and you interview people, you interview and going to different towns and stuff and interviewing and enjoying talking to each other.
Yeah.
Why that caught my interest is because I see the same thing in with me. I feel like I'm shy, but I also really enjoy talking to people and meeting new people. And there's
Yeah.
that inner pull,
Yeah.
but yet it's just something that I think we experience. So I just wanted to ask you, when you go, how do you work through your shyness to go up and talk to people and interview people?
I remember like in the beginning, I used to just keep my mouth shut, and I used to talk in front of mirror sometimes, and that was so awkward because some of my relatives, they used to come visit us, and suddenly I'm practicing that namaste. For example, I'm greeting. Seriously, this was the level of my numbness, I would say. Though I used to speak here a lot, that was there. Like I used to love observing people and their behavior and what's happening right or wrong. These were there. But later on, like when I reached Delhi, that time I felt that I there was some kind of, I would say, bubble where I was living, and that time it is struck in my mind that I need to speak, because then who will speak, and then for whom I will speak, because my purpose was clear, that working for people. For example, I'm just giving you that was the target for me. Like if I want to work for my people, and if I want to speak, then what will happen? Then who will speak for them? Like there's a big gap.
Yeah.
So from there it started, and by chance I got some good people around me, like who told me, no, no, you are speaking well, or you, no, 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 you we loved your that qualitative aspect which you talked about. It's not about just language. It's about like you are expressing it in a better way, right? So, and that time I was very philosophical. That's another, like, that phase of my life when I start from class 12th standard to my BLLB days. Like I was very, close, but still I loved, all those philosophies and all. Especially Jeremy Bentham was like person whose line always clicked my mind. That who talked about, like, purpose of laws to maximize happiness of people somewhere. He said, huh?
The purpose of law is to maximize people's happiness.
Yeah, yeah, right. So after that, there was a lot of things inside, but I was feeling like now it needs to come out somewhere. It needs to come out, and I need to contextualize or make it relevant while talking to people. So my wife, she was there in Delhi. She told me one line, only one line. I remember we were just friends, and that time I was not into kind of. I used to. I had one purpose, that I have to study. I have to get knowledge. That was my target, and then use it for betterment. But she told me, like, you are talking about so abstract things, but you are not talking, straight. What you need to tell other person. I can understand, it's fine, but what about other? So nobody will you understand you. That time, like, I was blank, and I I went back to my room, and I really thought deeply. Like, she really told me something which nobody told me, and then I started working on it. Like language was somewhere like my first love, because my parents and my ancestors, both, everybody was good with writing and all. So I started with the writing, and then later on I started blog also. Then I used to go for conferences, because Delhi is a good place for conferences, and attending various book reviews, kind of things, events. So I used to go there everywhere. I used to go, and I used to sit on the first table. That was my priority. And these friends used to laugh. Always you come, and then you sit in the first chair. So because you just want to listen to them and you need to ask questions. So something happened like that. And later on, then slowly, like I met with more friends. I met more friends, good friends. And after that, then I did my master's degree, LLM, from National Law University, Hyderabad. There also I met people from various backgrounds, and I learned from them a lot because they had different disciplines in which they had their bachelor degree, and they wanted to pursue law because they needed to connect it with the other subjects. That was interesting part. For example, a psychology, somebody has done psychology honors, so they want to join it with law. So that was interesting because talking to them and understanding various aspects of law was very helpful. So after that, then I went for human rights activities. Like I went to Delhi, then again going back to Delhi, working on Right to Education Act, also on legal literacy campaigns. Then I felt that I started talking to people also, and but it's still like I was there, but I never liked to stand and speaking to everyone. Kind of I never liked it, and still I don't like it.
Yeah.
I love when we are sitting together informally and talking to each other nicely. That
Yeah,
was the thing.
that is
I
nice.
remember in one of training program to indigenous women in Odisha. We were there, and the I we had different themes for like child rights and women rights. So in women rights, we were dealing with sexual harassment at workplace, right? So those people like who were organizing it, who called our organization to have this training program, they told she was a lady, of course, and she told me that see Rajesh, you can just talk about only relevant laws. That's it, because you can't they won't be comfortable if you talk to them about their experiences. I said that's totally wrong. I don't agree with your that thought ki women will talk to women only about this. I went there and I proved her that see, it's not about that. It's about like how I introduce myself, and I tried to be part of their that pain, their that trauma they felt. So I started with a story of one of my cousin sister who faced that kind of harassment. Then you won't believe, like one woman, she cried. Then second, they started their telling their story. I didn't say anything, but they started with themselves. So then I understood that even communication is very very important part, and it should be going both side, and we really need to work on it. Like all the lawyers, I would say, like they need to work on it, especially when you're talking to your clients, when you're talking to your stakeholders. So when I talk to them, then I realize that uh, language is very powerful thing, and it need not to have words. You just need to
Yeah.
give a push to certain thing, and that will come out itself. And that especially I remember that training program changed my mindset also, because I was happy, like I went out with something good thing with me, because I learned it, that it need not to be very kind of too much linguistic. It need to be expressive. They
Yeah.
didn't know about my language. I didn't know about them.
That goes with what you were saying earlier, how you connect at the energy and the heart level, and then the
Yeah,
words
that's important.
will follow with that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so by doing that, at the end of that experience, you felt like you were all family with each other.
It was a kind of 16-day program. So I remember after completing 1 week, when I came again after a break. So that time they were ready, sir, please, your parents' photo. Are you married? So they have those sort of questions, because
Yeah.
they really want to connect, right?
Yeah.
And they still ask, they are connected. Some of them are connected with me, and that is the best part. This is what we earn as a human being.
Yeah. That is very nice.
True, seriously, like I feel it somewhere inside, like this is what I want in my life. I don't want anything more, but we need some basic things, and have a good conversation with people and try to understand, try to share with them, and they will share with you, and try to solve those problems. That's it. So it depends like how we want our life to be. So that's another constraint for a person. Maybe his understanding of life is different, so it really matters
Yes.
how I interpret my life.
You had a very clear sense of this is what I want to do with my life. I want to be here to help and be here for people. And
Right.
with that, you, when your wife told you, well, how are you going to be there for people if you're too abstract, they don't understand you, you took that to heart. And so you went out
Yeah.
there. So, okay, how can I get better at that? You went to conferences, you went to talks, you sat there, you observed, you learned, you participated, you connected with people so that you can connect with them at
Yeah.
a professional level as well as a person-to-person level.
So this is how I learned with time, and that shyness went away. And my mother, she is now complaining after doing a lot. Now you are saying a lot of things, and you don't stop.
Now you
Yeah, and in my village, like all people, they love me because I go there. I have a lot of stories. They also share with me, and it's always lovely to be there.
That is nice.
So
Whenever I start a new job, or when I worked, the last firm that I worked at, which is typical for me, the first 2 weeks, I'm kind of like shy as I get to know people. So I just focus on my work. I really don't talk too much. I just focus on my work. If we're working together on something, I'll come to you, but that's it. And after I was there for a few months, one of the partners at the firm's like, we thought you were so quiet when you first got here, and now you won't stop talking.
Same thing happened with me. Yeah, true. You are right. Yeah, that's how maybe some of us are like that because we don't like to directly hit the ball. Like we wait for the time. We need to understand the ambience. We need to understand the environment, and then only we enter. Right.
That's
So
exactly
yeah,
it. You need to
you
get
are
the
right.
lay of the land, get to feel comfortable in it.
Yeah.
So from law school, you worked in Delhi for a bit with the UN project for women's rights, and then you worked on with the Ministry of Justice in Delhi on different projects. And now you're back in your hometown, which is a small rural in the Himalayan mountain area.
Right. Yeah.
Being back home in your hometown in the mountain or village mountain area of the Himalayas with your parents in a smaller setting, how do you like that?
I love it because I believed in. If you would have seen that, I love those movies, now mythical, especially that Hobbit and all those things. I love it. So Gandalf told one thing like, those people believe in who is powerful and who believe in power. So bigger things means for them, but for me, small things plays most important role in this world, in the working of this world. So for me also, like it means a lot because I have covered so many areas and I went out also. I had already a lot of fun, I would say, like in learning different methodologies of communicating with people as well as understanding different issues with the perspective of system as well as people. So now I'm back to the place. Like I'm trying to align myself now to this particular place, and maybe there are small things, but I still believe like small things matters a lot. It brings light into life of people because when I'm talking directly with the person or a victim or a person who has some grievance in their life, emotionally or economically anyway, so I'm trying to somewhere address them so directly. So that is the beauty of this particular job. Litigation brings you close to their lives, and it gives you a particular, kind of, I would say, right to intervene there and try to make it better. So that is I would say that is the most beautiful part of being an advocate, and especially when you are there in your own hometown, and they are talking in your language, and you are talking in your language, and they're very happy that you have come from different places. You learned a lot, and now maybe you will help them. So that is the best part of it, I would say.
Now you have your firm or your business, the Law and Happiness firm.
I have not registered it, or
Okay.
yeah, I didn't register it because I'm keeping it very open in terms of like maybe in future I will have to change something. I'm
Okay.
open for it because it should go from community. I believe in it because I'm now trying. Without any office, we must have some community based system, community based legal, I would say, redressal system. So I'm trying to focus on that now because I have seen like what people are suffering and where people are, their money is getting I would say
I
exploited.
see.
So better way, I'm trying to find a better way so that it's not about office. It's about like, in every village you will find small places from their own, maybe a school and a corner of it. I will take
Mhm.
it maybe or after talking to people. So I'm trying to, decentralize it and I don't want to keep a cap on it. Like it should be like this or that, like,
Yeah.
but the mission, the vision is Raji Kushi, which means law and happiness. Because I believe in it, and I really want to, showcase also because nowadays people just see the bad stories, bad part of law. This is not working. Somebody is telling this is bad, but this rule applies to each profession and everywhere you go to doctor, you will have good doctor, bad doctor, right? Sensitive doctor, non-sensitive doctor, harsh doctor, they don't speak well, they don't communicate well, you will find everywhere. So I'm trying to, I really want to change that definition, first of a lawyer, and second of office. It's not office, it's a, because it's a service, this is a legal service.
Yeah. It seems so well aligned with what you were saying way back at the beginning of our conversation about kind of your purpose of being there for the people and being that interpreter or the bridge between here's the law that's
Yeah,
there for people, but people don't
right,
know that it's there for them and they're not using it. So that's why I
right,
see it now. You're a
absolutely.
law and happiness
Yeah,
advocate. You're helping people
yeah,
understand what it is for them and
yeah,
how it
trying
can
to
be
connect them.
used by them for
Yeah,
their happiness and for their well-being.
true. Yeah,
It's wonderful. So, well, it sounds like a very noble mission that you're on.
it's a small thing, but I
Mhm.
would say like I really want to intervene in this particular profession and want to change those definitions wrongly, interpreted by people because due to some people's individual value system.
Yes.
So I just want to disconnect that because it's already harmed the whole rule of law system in a bigger way. So it will be better. That's why I'm saying like here it's still, I would say it's easy because people are, genuine people. They really want to, work with you. They really want to see such visions and they want to, make it a kind of, I would say like social and cultural environment which is inclusive, which is better for their children, right?
Mhm.
Which is respectful, and where your privacy has been taken care of, because these are still not part of our this there is a big misinterpretation due to people's own, habits. There are advocates who are talking to their clients not in a closed place. What they are doing is they are listening to them in a public place. That's another problem which I seen here. So this is not appropriate because there are many things they need to talk to them. That's why I thought of, establishing this office also, because we cannot entertain them where there is a big crowd and you are, trying to make it public, all those information.
Yeah.
Although they try their best to, kind of speak low voice, but still it's very easy. Other people are understanding, they are listening to each other, then they, after that woman, if she goes away, then they are talking to each other, doing all kind of bitching behind. So that's not good, that's really
Mhm.
bad. So these are the, gaps which are very major kind of gaps, where I'm sure that clients understand it that this is wrong, but they don't have any choice. So we are trying to make a choice to them, And recently, I was in Delhi, and I went to meet one friend. So he was working in one of the district court of Delhi. So I was expecting something else. I went there. So my friend told that guy, because they had one big office there. So he told that he's a lawyer. He's working in Uttarakhand and in hilly areas. And I gave my card to them because I made it like this. It represent mountain because there's a, I would say pine cones are there and there's a leaf there. So something representing our mountain. And then I have written that Raji Kushi, the Law and Happiness Office. And when we move it back, so there is a QR code for my location and
Okay.
my own qualification, what I have done and where I have been. And then there is a hashtag Law for Happiness, hashtag harmony, hashtag peace, hashtag socio psycho support. So he asked me one question he didn't understand actually. See this, I just want to show you that how these lawyers, like wherever we are working, we are into so much of literal meanings of life that we lost those colors of life. He asked me that those people who take drug, so are you running de-addiction center? Because
Oh,
I have
okay.
written psychosocial support.
Hmm.
So it was very interesting interaction with them.
Yeah.
And later on, he asked me, "Can I join you?" He was asking me because he asked me like how you are working. So I told Gareth, this is a good way. Yeah, we can do this way also. Because I told him that I would be engaging some graduates who have done psychology or sociology background, and I will engage them in making a kind of social investigation report. For example, a client comes. So first there will be kind of scanning of their whole I would say like what problems they faced and what kind of social background they have. So there will be a format for that. So they will scan that particular perspective. So then she will be maybe the victim, she will be better, and then they will come to me like, and then I will see that report, and then I will engage with her. So for me also it will be easy because sometimes I feel that they are so traumatic that it affects us also. So our
Hmm.
health, our mental health. And you
Yeah.
won't believe like because a person like me like who are emotional, so for us, because we don't have any kind of that kind of support system here like psychologist or those
Okay.
counselors, so it becomes a big burden for us. Sometimes we don't sleep in the night because those stories are going on here. Oh, she felt like this. Oh, that was very bad. Why it happened? And those queries. So then it becomes very hard for us. So I felt that it will be good if we engage youngsters in this exercise and we can divide it. So it will be easy for me to go through that social report. And then what I will do is then I will decide and I will share with her that, okay, this is the maybe we can take this path or this path, and this is expensive or this is non expensive.
Yeah.
So that lawyer from Delhi, he was happy ki, what are you doing, man? Like can we join it? Is it a group or is it a registered something? I said nothing is like that. It's an open sky. You start with yourself. I told him.
Uh,
So though I told him that we will be connected, and if you need any help, let me know. Like I can
yeah.
help you out. So
Nice.
something like that. So
Yeah.
this is how I feel that I am different than those lawyers who directly come to the law profession.
Mm.
And my best point, what I felt was like, because as I was in a particular NGO, then understanding various perspective of people, and then coming to institution, coming to Department of Justice, Ministry of Law and Justice. There also I came to know about system and institutions, how it works or where it fails. Then coming to the High Court, where I was working with Juvenile Justice Committee. So having those background, it really helped me to give my own approach, not some other person's approach, because I learned it with time, and I seen that this is what we need to do. Why we are going here and there? No, we should concentrate. We should focus on few. I told that guy also that, see, I'm 100% sure that though you must be having 100 and 1,000 files here in Delhi, because a lot of cases are there, but in reality, how many files you really see properly and how many you draft properly.
Yeah.
In haste, they prepare those drafts and just send it. They don't really take it properly. So I told him, like, take few cases and make it effective, so you will see the difference in face of the client.
A lot of what you're
So
describing sounds like it is you are a trauma-informed lawyer. Have you heard that expression before? Trauma-informed? There's
I
within within the
yeah,
integrative law movement. I know some of our guests that we've talked about, Dr. Mardal from Australia, and a few other guests have talked about the importance for lawyers being trauma-informed and recognizing that our clients have experienced trauma before they've come to us, and our trauma that we carry or that we have that influences us, and then taking on our clients' trauma and how we can help them without taking on the trauma. So you seem to be, you and these two other guests I see are all kind of aligned so well together and really approaching law in a holistic way for the benefit of your clients. Which leads me to my last question. We end every episode with asking lawyers or asking our guests, what does integrative law or being an integrative lawyer mean to you?
I keep it simple. Like, when we say, like, live and let live, right? So it means a lot. Like, it has a whole bunch of value system with it. We want to live together. That is the purpose of our life, and it should be meaningful, respectful. Most important part of integrative, when we talk about integrative system in law, defining our lives by understanding each perspective of various individuals in a society, and those all are colors which are important in our lives. And there is a particular support system which is created by, maybe somebody is kind of suffering, or somebody is lagging behind. So that support system won't come from some other places. No, it will come from that same society. So we are the one, like, who can really help out, and we are getting that opportunity. As a lawyer, we are getting that opportunity to fill those gaps. And if we leave it by just like, for money sake or anything else, so then we are kind of I would say we are unfortunate, like, we didn't really get a opportunity to bring smile to somebody's life. So that's a big difference when we talk about, like, integrative law as a subject, or as a kind of approach to life. And it's very important. Like, I don't think, like, other professions are there, but this particular profession, it specifically connect most of these subjects together. And not just to connect or to give burden to our system or to the people. No, it's not a burden. It gives different approaches to life, and it tries to resolve those issues of people living in a society. So it's more about different colors together, and then as a support system coming from those colors itself. So that's how it becomes.
It's a very nice description of it. Rajesh, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for being part of Integrative Lawyers of the World.
Thank you, Kerry. It's really nice. It was really nice talking after a long time, like, because before, though, I used to, be there with people in Delhi or somewhere else. But specifically talking about these life experiences and how we change with time, and we really we have our approach to life, like, talking about these things, we don't get really time to just interact with each other. And I think it will really help others also, like, because many times, like, there are juniors, some of my juniors, or some law students, they approach you, they ask me, like, what you do. And I remember they just used to focus on either they want to go for lawyer, as a lawyer, or judge. But when they see that, oh, he's going in with people also, he's with community, he's dancing, he's learning, doing so many things, then that approach comes. So now they are trying to understand, ki, what is it. So it's integrative law, we would say. Like, so this is how it happens, right? So, but it is an understanding, I would say. Like, it doesn't come directly. You will have to go through that process. You will have to understand that swing of life, like how it goes up and come down. And later on, then you realize that when you understand that process, then you will love to work on this area. So I always love, what I do.
It's wonderful.
Right.
I always love what I do. That is a nice sentiment that I hope a lot of people out there can share. And I wish you well with law and happiness.
Thank you.
Very nice meeting you today. Namaste.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much.